What's up guys, Shouri here, and today we are going to go over the patch notes and I'll explain everything to you. This is for the patch notes that are going to be put out on May 19th, which should be today. So here are the details of the update. First, we're going to start with ranked. To prepare for the next season, Stadium Season 1, there will be a short test season. After the update, SSO test season duration will be from May 19th until June the 8th. So during this, they will lower the unlock requirements for ranked matches to 75 trophies from 1500. Which, behind the scenes, they want to switch to more of a competitive environment, so having newer players be able to start doing ranked earlier is good. Plus, they plan on switching to 5v5, so the more the better. So they are only going to have control and payload in this. It isn't going to have clash anymore. So now you can team up with duos or trios, while team of 4s will not be allowed. Teams of 5 will only match against other 5 full stacks. Placement matches will be removed. All players participating in ranked matches will automatically receive bronze with 3 ranks. Introducing promotional matches system, triggered when players advance to diamond rank and above. When a player reaches the qualifying node, they must participate in a best of 3 match in their qualifiers, and then they have to win 2 games to advance, or if they lose 2 games and fail the qualifiers, then a player will fail to advance, and then 1 rank star will be deducted. The player will not advance to the next rank tier. This seems like it could be a good system. It seems a little complicated, but I think that it'll be okay. As long as it's easy to kind of rank up, then I think this is probably a good thing to add. A brand new stadium track system will stay active in the ranked matches to progress in the stadium track, and it'll directly unlock rewards for free. I think this is great. Anything that makes it better for free-to-play players and keeps people invested in playing ranked is always a good thing. Next, ranked match shields will be divided into 3 types based on consumption order. Event shields provided by limited time events. Then it'll take away demotion shields provided whenever you get promoted or if there's other specific events. And then challenger shields, which are redeemed with challenger points, which may mean that you can actually buy lost shields with some kind of rank system points, which I also think is really neat. One problem we're having right now is a lot of people that are really high ranked and ranked can't get matches because there's just not enough people to match. So going to 5v5, I think a lot of these systems are going to be really important to keep it to where your queue times are lower, and also with the tons of advertising they're doing, I think this could actually work. And then the rank portrait frames will be reset every season, so you have to earn the right to use it and achieve your glory. Next up are trophies. And this one makes the last update make a lot more sense. So instead of what we do now where we have our trophies get reset, every single character will have their glory level go up to level 7 instead of 35 and cap out at 4,500. But for now, it will not reset anymore, and here's the table showing what you'll end up getting and how you still earn your glory points. So you will stay at this amount instead of it resetting and screwing you over. You will get that amount of glory points there, and it's just a much better system overall, and it just feels less bad. So basically, the maximum number of glory levels for each hero will become 7. The maximum number of trophies per hero will be capped at 4,500 after the update, with heroes over 4,500 already being settled back down to 4,500. The only thing that I don't really like is it will no longer give you battle points when you increase your glory level. I guess since there aren't that many levels, it won't matter as much, but it would still be nice to get more battle pass points, Next up is the MVP system. Everyone who has ever seen how MVPs work knows that it's kind of a stupid system, but they want to change that. Support heroes are very important roles in the game, and we need to assess their impact more accurately. So after the update, assists from support heroes will be better tracked in their kill death to assist ratio. This includes healing, damage mitigation, control type abilities, and other aspects of assistance. The new MVP system will also assign weighted scores to KOs and assists, making it more accurate in predicting which player makes the biggest impact. The current system's pretty terrible, so anything's going to be better than that. I mean, pretty much play a Letta and you win kind of deal. So hopefully this actually fixes that and makes it also where you feel better about healing. I also hope that there's a healing metric at the end of scores in games, because it literally just looks like you just sat there and got carried if you do your job as a healer now, which kind of sucks. So I hope they've also changed that. So the ways they're going to change it is KOs, instances where effective damage is dealt to the target within a time frame before the target dies, will be counted as a KO, which is what you would expect, but assist is a little different. So for assist, instances providing a buff effect or a shared vision abilities towards the KO friendly player before the target dies, or instances of using a control effect skill on the KO'd player, enemy player, before the target dies. So basically, if you buff or shield or do anything good for your teammate, or the opposite for the enemy, it'll give you an assist. Healing aid, instances of effective healing during the KO friendly player before the target dies will be counted as an assist. When a player falls off the map, receiving damage from anyone, it will give you a KO, and if someone hit them before that, it'll also give them an assist now. Alright, the part you guys are probably all here for, the hero changes. In the next update, we're thrilled to announce that all heroes will get the new second active ability all for free. No rumble boxes to open, no key coins or gems or anything. All 26 heroes will get that second ability for free. This is one of several moves they're doing to make the game better for free to play, which is really good, especially if we're moving into a direction of 5v5. And from the developer, at T3 Arena, we strive to provide you a fun game experience with limitless possibilities, regardless of your preference of playstyle. However, the 3v3 game mode limited the fun and diversity due to the smaller number of players, which resulted in heavy focus on kill efficiency and constrained the hero usage. Many exciting heroes with unique abilities remained underutilized. The development of 5v5 helped us find a clear path towards refining and iterating upon the core gameplay loop. With this upcoming update, heroes will fit better into 4 basic roles, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. First is Vanguard heroes. They are formidable tanks with high health and shield capabilities. They can also deal significant damage under specific conditions, but are vulnerable to ranged heroes. Vanguards serve as the primary force in capturing objectives, but if you're worried about it being a shield and heal heavy meta, if there's only one Vanguard, he gets a lone Vanguard blessing, granting 20% extra damage mitigation, which could make it to where you can play more DPS and just have the one tank. I'm not sure how it's going to work yet, but hopefully we'll see soon how and what the best things are to do. The next category is damage heroes. They possess potent offensive capabilities and have ranged advantages. However, they are more vulnerable and require additional protection from their teammates. I'll just give my thoughts on each of the heroes individually when I bring up what those changes are later, instead of just saying it for each of the classes though. But next up are flank heroes. They excel in mobility, specialize in creating distractions, and focus on eliminating squishy enemies. They struggle in long-range combat though. I think that you'll see this with the new Aletta, where it's more of a distraction than anything. You can't let it kill you, but you can also not worry about it killing you by yourself like it currently can. Next up is support heroes. Support heroes are skilled healers and various other abilities to assist their team. Like damage heroes, they're vulnerable, but they rely on the additional protection from their teammates. Note, support heroes naturally heal themselves if they have not taken damage for 2 seconds. I think Hunter's now a support hero. I wonder if people are just gonna camp back with Hunter and just heal themselves the whole time. So for this part, if you want to read it, you can pause the screen and read it, but it's basically just saying that having these different classes have different roles and playstyles, it'll make it a lot easier to kind of know what you're supposed to do and have everyone play their certain role instead of it just be going out with Scotty, Hunter, Judix, and winning. And now for the part we all want to see, the different heroes. First up is Mark, boosting Mark's ammo count and bullet spread for improved endurance and accuracy. First ability's cooldown will be reduced. Ultimate now devastates marked, shielded targets. New second ability adds swift slide action to the mobility. We've all seen this inside of the 5v5. But what is a remarkable change is having a bullet spread get 3 to 1.2. That means it's going to be like 30% more accurate, which will also make it better at ranged as well. Also, its ability to shoot the rocket is only 6 seconds instead of 8 now. Its ultimate ability goes up from 30% extra damage to 50% and 150% on people with shields, and then we already know what its slide does. So yeah, I just became a marked main. Pretty much enough said there. Next up is Christina. Christina's weapon explosion range and damage fallout adjusted for balancing of combat. Slower first ability charge rate now is implemented. New second ability introduces a quick forward leap for mobility, so the main weapon's explosion range gets shortened to 2 meters from 3.5. The explosion damage fall off, it starts from 43%, now it's 87.5% per meter. So I think this is to keep you from just like killing all 5 people in the hill at the same time or something. The first active ability's passive charge rate is 50 charge per second to 20 charge per second, and this is probably a good thing. I mean, you don't want to have too many sticky bombs, especially because it's glitched to where you can like shoot and reset your cooldown on shooting by throwing it, and it would just be an absolute disaster inside of a hill with 5 people. Next up is Aletta. Aletta's weapon gets sharper damage fall off and adjusted spread. Ultimate ability charges slower, loses healing, but deals consistent damage. Her second ability allows for strategic teleportation and health recovery. Time machine? ? Hey, I'm just here to read it. I can't tell you why they wrote it. The main weapon damage fall off goes from a maximum of 30% at 23 meters to a maximum of 75% at 23 meters. That is insane. The main weapon bullet spread, half angle 2%, maximum half angle 6%, to 2.4 to 7.2. I don't know what any of that means. Not even going to pretend to. Ultimate ability, the passive charge rate goes from 70 to 20. That's insane. And your charge for damaging enemies goes from 1.4 to 1. I didn't even know that was a thing, by the way. Ultimate ability, healing amount, recovery 2% every 0.1 seconds, now does no healing. The second active ability will teleport you from where you were 3 seconds ago, and the same with your HP to the highest level during those last 3 seconds. That's a pretty cool thing. So it's not exactly where you were 3 seconds ago, but the highest HP. So that does make it a little better for Aletta. Okay, Victor's thing's so long, I'll read the bio, but, I'll put everything up here, but you can pause it if you want to read the whole thing. I'm not reading all of this. With 26 heroes, that would literally just make this an hour-long video. Victor's weapon receives ammo, firing interval, and damage adjustments for balanced firepower. First ability now causes knockback, extends charge distance, and boosts damage. Ultimate stun duration is extended, and a new second ability promotes survivability. I think this actually might be better than the one we used in the normal 5v5. But again, if you guys want to read through this, feel free, but I'm not reading all this. This is a crazy amount of stuff. So for some of them, I'll just explain what the bio says and then show on the screen for the rest if you want to read that stuff. Next up is Scotty. Scotty's ultimate ability now charges faster and consumes less. A new second active ability introduces a quick forward roll, replenishing the ammo, and immediate retaliation. Ultimate damage ability costs 4,000, and it is now at 3,200. Ultimate ability passive charge rate goes from 70 to 20, and the second active ability now makes it where you roll forward quickly, and it'll also refill your ammo, which I think is a nice addition. Next up is Kazama. Kazama has been transformed from a damage to a flank roll, adjusting Kazama's main weapon explosion to hit damage with modified damage fallout, ultimate ability damage boosted significantly, and its new second active ability provides aerial mobility. Main weapon explosion damage down from 1,300 to 800. The main weapon damage is now 300 to 800. That's It's confusing. I think maybe that means like if you direct hit, it does more than the explosion itself. So maybe it'll do like 1600 for a direct hit. I'm not 100% sure. They changed the damage fall off to where before it would start 1 meter after the explosion and decrease by 0.15 per meter. And now that is the same, but it starts at 0 meters instead of 1. The ultimate ability's damage is from 2840 to 3600, and its second ability is fly in the direction of the crosshair. I assume instead of just going straight up, it'll go straight forward. Overall, I kind of like the way that they're doing that, so sounds fun. I can't wait to try Kazama and see how it goes. So, next up is gonna be Osus. Osus's ultimate ability and ability cost and charge rate are rebalanced. A new second active ability adds vertical mobility, enabling control descents while scoping. Ultimate ability cost 4,000 and is now going to be 3,200. Ultimate ability passive charge rate goes from 70 to 20. And its second active ability makes it where you can jump really far, and if you scope, it'll slow the descent of your falling. I'm glad to see a lot of this is the same as it was in the beta because I enjoyed playing Osus, made for getting really good clips, so pretty excited to do that some more. Next up is Sindri. Sindri has been transformed from a damage to a support role. Her weapon and first active ability have been reduced, and both her Sindri and Rage Brawl provide health regeneration on an area of effect. A new second ability boosts the recovery effects from them both. So you can go through and read these different things, but I'll read these two because these are the most important. The first active ability's new mechanism, both Sindri and the Rage Ball both continuously heal anyone around them within 10 meters. And this is from both of them, but they do not stack. What this means is if there's people that are just staying back, you can drop your Rage Ball in them, and then you can go in forward the others, or vice versa, whichever one you want. But it will heal for 320 per second, but it will only heal you for 60% of that, and the Rage Ball cannot be healed, so I would probably leave that back with your ranged DPS. I think those are some really cool changes, and I can't wait to see how it goes. Next up is Jabali. This is another one with so many changes, I'm just going to read it, but you can go and I'll have everything on the screen for you to read it yourself if you want to go in more detail. Jabali's main weapon has undergone a complete overhaul, shifting to burst damage with shield penetration. A passive ability now replenishes ammo automatically. His active and ultimate abilities have been adjusted for better performance, and a new second ability creates shield-piercing electrical spikes. So I think a lot of these changes are going to be better than what we saw in the beta and probably will address a lot of his shortcomings. So I definitely like what I see so far, and if you want to read all the different changes, feel free to pause on the screen and I'll put it all here. But this is like so much crap. Holy my god, why? I mean, it's great they're changing stuff, but I'm not reading that. No way. Oh my god, that's so much stuff. What? Next up is Gloria. Gloria now moves faster. Her first active ability deals increased damage, and her ultimate costs less energy. Her new second active ability introduces a double explosive invisible mine, making her besties with Christina. Passive ability, movement speed boost, 0.25 to 0.35. First active ability, the damage goes from 460 to 480. Ultimate ability cost goes from 5,500 to 3,500. The ultimate ability passive charge rate is 70 to 20. I think that might be for all of these. And the second active ability is toss an invisible mine that knocks opponents away when it explodes, and the mine can explode twice. Next up is Shell. Shell's main weapon damage has been restructured. With a faster damage level increase, her abilities have received an adjustment for balance, and a new second active ability introduces a damaging speed reduction explosion, and this gives her more crowd control capabilities. So for the main weapon damage, it can get its higher levels faster, but its maximum damage is a little bit lower. Its first active ability reduces the cooldown on the main weapon from 0.8 to 0.6 seconds. Its ultimate ability, passive charge rate, is 70 to 20, just like all the others. The passive ability's health regeneration goes from 60 to 40, and its new second active ability, explode in position after releasing the ability, inflicting speed reduction and damage to opponents within range of you. Next up is Labula, who got completely reworked, so this one's probably going to be a lot. Labula has been transformed from a damage to a support role. His main weapon now heals allies, but his damage and passive ability have been nerfed. His ultimate ability also provides healing. His second active ability can now summon an ally-saving Eternal Generator. Okay, I guess we'll go read what that stuff is. Oh my god, this is so much. Whatever. Main weapon additional effects, heals when hitting teammates. Main weapon damage goes from 160 to 100. The explosion damage goes from 600 to 550. The healing on teammates is 700. And the passive ability's temporary armor cap goes from 2000 to 1250. But the passive ability's armor reduction per second goes down from 150 to 50 also. So it's kind of let you keep it for longer. Also, his health and armor both go down by 500 each. And there's just some other stuff here if you want to read it, but the most important things are the last two. The ultimate abilities charge for damaging enemies. 21 is now 20 to 1, but it also increases the healing charge rate 20 to 1. And the next one is going to be the second active ability, summon an Eternal Generator to prevent allies within range of it from dying. It can be destroyed, but while it's up, the other people can't die, and it doesn't say how long it lasts, so it might just be there till it's killed. So if you see a Labula do some ability, you probably want to kill that thing pretty quick. Next up is Iris, and it's very similar to the way it was in the beta. Not reading all that, feel free to pause and read yourself, but the second active ability is different. It will inflict upon the opponent an electrical arc, dealing extra electrical damage upon hit. Not 100% sure how that works. It may be the same thing as the 5v5. I'm not for sure. But next up is Hunter, and I'll actually read this one. Hunter's new second active ability introduces a healing field, healing allies over time when they enter its range. The second active ability, cast a healing field in position to apply healing over time to allies entering its effect range. It doesn't actually say how much though. That's weird. Next up is Johnny Jet. Johnny Jet's first active abilities, area on effect, and healing have been reduced. His new second ability is introducing an auto spray that can damage and slows the opponent, and it also provides him with a larger area to play around with. First active ability, maximum area on the ground, goes from 2 to 1. First active ability, health regeneration within the area, goes from 400 to 200, and then its second active ability tosses an auto spray can to deal damage over time to opponents entering the range and reduces that opponent's speed. Next up is Walling. Walling has had their health and main weapon damage reduced for balance. Her abilities have been adjusted, and her new second active ability allows for a backward leap and temporary invisibility. Combined with her ultimate, she now has more of a chance to escape the scene. The base value of her health goes from 3,500 to 3,000. Her main weapon damage goes from 500 to 2,500 and is now 450 to 2,250. Her first active ability slow value goes from 0.7 to 0.4, and her first active ability damage value goes from 1,500 to 1,000. The same passive charge rate going from 70 to 20, and then the second active ability goes where it jumps backwards and becomes invisible. You will reveal yourself when you start attacking them. Alright, next up is Ruby. Okay, yeah, we basically have 10 more heroes, so I'm probably just going to do like their bios and then have everything on the screen if you want to read more. So Ruby receives a shield buff, but her main weapon range is reduced. Her first active ability now has a longer lifespan, and her second active ability introduces a stun, knocking back projectile. That will allow her to be able to do more crowd control. So, if you want to read these, like I said, pause it and look, and it's pretty straightforward. Next up is going to be Diggy. Diggy's main weapon has seen a significant damage reduction, but now hits more times. Her abilities have been adjusted, and her new second active ability allows for teleportation, giving her better mobility. This means she's going to do very similar damage, just be able to shoot more, which is probably a good thing when you have the fact that there's going to be so many different people around. You're going to want the extra shots. Judix. Judix's new second ability introduces a stun grenade that reduces opponents' movement speed, their aiming speed, and gives her more crowd control abilities. Her second active ability is tossing a stun grenade to reduce opponents' movement speed and aiming for a short period. Her ultimate passive charge goes from 70 to 20 like everybody else, and that's it. Everything else is pretty much the same. Next up is Chemist. Chemist undergoes a drastic change. Her passive ability now offers out-of-combat HP recovery. Her second new ability introduces a heal blocking cannon, and she will now focus more on healing multiple teammates in close range combats. Which I don't think's true, because before you could kind of get up close because you could heal yourself, but now Chemist can't heal herself. She has to rely on getting out of combat to heal, so I don't know if that's actually true. I probably wouldn't put this guy up close. But you can heal multiple people, and it's very similar to how it was during the beta. Next up is Ya. Ya's first and ultimate abilities have lower damage. Her second active ability introduces a counter-attacking shield, giving her a higher chance of survivability in the close-range combats. Her first active ability's damage goes from 1400 to 1300. Her ultimate ability's Blade Wind does the same, but that same ultimate ability no longer gives any damage reduction. Her second ability generates an active shield and launches counterattacks, which basically is just damage reflection. Next up is Fort. Fort's main weapon damage has been reduced, his first active ability's barrier health has been doubled, and his second new active ability provides damage mitigation and control immunity. Which seems to be like anything that'll make your character out of control, like the Scotty dance, which isn't in the game anymore, but if it was, that would be one as well. But the main weapon damage goes from 500 to 340. The explosion damage does the same. The main weapon explosion damage fall off is also different. I don't even know how to compare those two things. Like, that literally 1 to 3 to 1 to 2, instead of 10%, it's 85. Dude, I don't even understand. But something changed, so good to know. And if you do understand what they were trying to tell me, if you can write in the comments what they were trying to say, I would appreciate that. Either way, the first ability's barrier doubles. The ability cost goes from 6,000 to 4,200, and then the second ability mitigates damage taken for a period of time, and you cannot be controlled by other people's abilities. Next up is Gatlin. Gatlin's first active ability now deals more damage. Her new second ability lifts restrictions and increases firing speed, like going berserk, but her movement speed boost from the first active ability is also sacrificed. So her first active ability damage goes up from 380 to 450, and its first active ability effect change, you gain 1.5 seconds and 50% moving speed, and now that is just nothing. The second active ability lifts the restrictions of like movement and other slows and stuff, and it greatly increases your firing speed, but it's unable to deal critical damage. This is fine though, because you can take down a ton of different shields and also just do a ton of body shot damage and not really have to worry. So I think that's actually still going to be a good thing. And your ultimate bubble now has 15,000 health instead of 8,000, and its duration is increased from 5 seconds to 10 seconds. So all in all, I think Gatlin's got a pretty good buff here and might have a pretty cool role in this meta. Next up is Zero Kelvin. Zero Kelvin's first active ability now has a longer cooldown. His second active ability introduces an invincible snowman transformation that restores HP, giving him much more versatility in critical situations. First active ability cooldown goes from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. The second active ability, turn into an invincible snowman and restore HP. Tap again to end the transformation early. And last but not least, the ultimate ability, passive charge rate, goes from 70 to 20. Next up is Vincent. Vincent's energy cap and detection radius have been reduced. His new second active ability introduces a moving mirror image. Combined with his other abilities, that high skill cap hero is even more deceptive now. And everything's pretty self-explanatory, feel free to read it, but this is that ability they were talking about. They showed it to us last night, so I figured I'd put it in here. So, yep, that's basically what the thing you get to shove out at people. I don't know if that was like a special dev version or if you get to literally make unlimited ones. Pretty excited to find out, though. Last but not least, Fade. Fade's main weapon damage has been restructured. Its fall-off has changed, and his second active ability introduces a protective quantum shield, giving him more ability to help his teammates. The main weapon damage change is the explosion damage was 1700 with no additional damage on hit, and now is 1200 plus 500 for the hit. And the damage fall-off has changed to whatever those numbers mean. And then the second active ability casts a quantum shield in position to block opponents' attacks, which makes him better in the tanking role he has. Next up are the new maps. First off, we are going to go over the brand new one that you guys haven't seen before, and this also comes with a new game type. So it's basically control and payload together or something. I'm not 100% sure. They have like a test video that's 20 minutes long of it. If you guys want me to go over that video and then kind of explain what the new game mode looks like and stuff, I can do that. Just let me know what you guys want in the comments below. Also, please like and subscribe if you've made it this far, because this has been so much work. Oh my god. I hope all these patch notes from the future are a lot smaller. But this map looks really cool, and it is really neat that they're making new game modes. I am glad that we have another payload map, so it'll be a little less boring in 5v5, which will rely on control and payload almost exclusively, especially in ranked if I'm not mistaken. So that is the Old Medina map, and it looks pretty cool. Old Medina is a brand new hybrid map. It combines control and payload escort into a single map, creating an all-new gameplay experience. Once the attacking team captures the control point, the game transitioned to an escort phase. And then it says the video below, but that's like 20 minutes long. If you guys want me to make a video on that and explain basically what's going on, I'm more than happy to do it. Next up is Elephant Astana. It has made a wider and more 5v5 friendly version, and I'm pretty excited to play this. I mean, it's a good map, so having it for 5v5 I think will only be a good thing. Game mode changes that apply to all the game modes. If there is only one Vanguard hero in the team, they will receive 20% extra damage mitigation. This effect will be unavailable if there are two more Vanguards in the same team, trying to make it to where there's basically just less tank-heavy metas. A support hero who has not received any damage for 2 seconds will slowly recover HP of their self, which is crazy because that makes Hunter a support hero, so he can heal himself. This applies also to free-for-all one-man teams. They count as one team. For example, if there are 6 Vanguards, all of them will have that buff. Next up is 5v5 changes. 5v5 will be out of beta after the next update. These are the changes to the game mode. 5v5 will feature all 26 heroes with new second actives and in your favorite skins. While some skins may not feature tailored special effects for the abilities, which we should all be glad about. While this kind of seems stupid that like we would be happy they didn't do this, but when you have to do all 26 heroes at once, you have to change for every single special skin all the different abilities to be different. And so that could be like a lot of work and time, and instead they spent that time in fixing all the broken systems and basically just making the game good again. So really it's a good thing, and over time I'm sure they'll try to do what they can to address it. The 2 new maps, Old Medina and the new bigger Elephant Astana, are coming to 5v5. 2 game modes will be separately displayed, and you can selectively play in either control or payload escort modes. Oh, cool. So if you don't want to play escort, or if you do, like, you can choose. That's actually cool. So that'll be neat. And there will be all new advanced mode options for Advance. Completely skill-based PvP matchmaking. By selecting Advanced Mode, you are guaranteed to queue with other players of a similar skill level, and 0 bots will be assigned in the match. However, matchmaking time may take longer. I mean, that's perfect. That's really what we all asked for, because some people would rather just get a quick game, but some people would rather have a skilled match and no bots, so I'm glad that they finally made that like an option for the players themselves. Next up are 3v3 changes. 3v3 will also feature all 26 heroes with their new active abilities and the balancing in all of your favorite skins. Game modes will be simplified to feature 3 modes: Team Deathmatch, Free-for-All, and Crystal Assault. Control will be made as a 5v5 exclusive, and Payload Race will be unavailable. Rough. Crystal Assault. The health value of the crystals in all Crystal Assault maps is now adjusted to 210,000. Maximum damage per second to the crystal is also adjusted to 10,000. Coin Rush will remain available as a limited time event during the weekends. The quick chat options have now been changed to these things. If you care about that, feel free to read it. And then they are also trying to show some different UI, and different controller support is now available. I don't know if that's good or bad, but basically they're just kind of making the game a little more friendly to more players. And then here's the different UI. They did different sound stuff. And one really cool thing is having it to where they're going to have more ranked info for players, and the leaderboards will only be ranked and individual heroes, so nobody's going to be going trophy grinding, making it miserable for all the casual players by playing like 3 stacks against bad players. Like, it's just not a good experience for really anyone involved, so I'm glad they're taking that out. And another really cool thing they're doing is events. The first one they're going to start is limited time hero tryout events. Heroes will be rotated once a week, providing players with one of each different type of character, and they can try it in any game mode. This will allow people to try different types of roles and heroes, and basically just make the game more fun for free to play overall, which I think is great. And their final words: with all these changes, we do expect some bugs with the update launches on May 19th. So, after the update, we need your help reporting bugs and suggesting improvements. Subscribe to our channel and join our Discord server so you can help participate in these excited changes. Yay. I'm so glad to be done. This was so long. Oh my god. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I would appreciate you to like, subscribe, and it is my birthday, so if you want to say happy birthday, that's fine too. Alright guys, hope you all have a great day.